Continuing on, as you can see, we're doing this by alphabetical order. So now I come to lettuce. I just want to show you what I'm going to sow now. And then we're going to go outside and I want to show you what I've already sown, because the lettuce I've been sowing now is ones that love the cold weather. Well, they call them winter varieties, but they love the cool weather. And so they germinate. Now, lettuce, as a rule, doesn't germinate when it's really, really hot. So, and also I've noticed here, in the UK, they bolt very quickly as well. So when I go to transplant my lettuce out, I always look for a shady spot in which to put it, because they have a tendency to go to seed very, very quickly. So the ones, I'll show you the ones I've already got outside. They're doing really, really well. And they're in the cold greenhouse. I germinated them in here. And they just germinate, no heat at all. I think they were on a windowsill. Yeah, they're in the dining room, they're on the windowsill and they germinated. But the ones that I'm going to do still in the cool weather, because it is very cool weather, is the Merveille des Quatre Saisons, or Marvel of Four Seasons. That kind of reddy. It's like a iceberg, but it's red. That's a great lettuce. I will do a little gem, but this little gem is a little gem cause it's a little bit larger. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to do, now I'm tossing up between these two which one to do, and I think I'm going to do Winter Imperial because I already have a hard-leafed lettuce. So I will do also Winter Imperial. That will be the next one I will do. The three that I've got outside is Winter Marvel, Rand de Glace, and Jack Ice, and I'll go and show you those. And the Jack Ice is the harder leaf that I was talking about. So that's the lettuce. Now, when I sow lettuce, I'm actually thinking of putting them in the Jiffy Pods as well, because everything seems to be going in the Jiffy Pods. If the seed is big enough that I can actually put it in something. By the way, the celeriac, the seed for celeriac, and I've gone and put it away, so I can't show you, is tiny. So that I couldn't do anything with that to put it in the Jiffy Pods, because first of all, I can barely even see the seeds. But these seeds, any seed that I can kind of handle with my fingers, and I don't have any fingernails, so anything I can kind of handle and put in the Jiffy Pod, I will put in the Jiffy Pod. So I think I'm going to do my lettuce in that as well. And then you don't have to do all this kind of pricking out business. I know that having Jiffy pellets is more expensive than just having soil. So it is a luxury that I afford myself, but I still have quite a lot of stuff in soil. I'm not that rich. Okay, all right. The other thing that we constantly have as well is always what we call a cut and come mix, which is just leaves. So I tend to grow them in pots. I have them in troughs. At the moment, I've got a row in the veggie pod as well. And now it's time. Have I sown another row? No. So now it's time to start sowing some more. And again, this time of year, I go for the stuff that likes the cool weather. The one that is in the veggie pod at the moment is what is called a fiery mix. And that has things like rocket in it, mustard, Mitsuna, Mibuna, and that's the mix. So that's in the veggie pod, and I'll show you that in a minute as well. That's done really well. So we've had one full cutting of it and it's now starting to come back again. I like these kind of leaf mixes. I think that they're great. I buy quite a lot of them from different companies. Again, this one here is an oriental leaf mix, in that they say there is, again, Mibuna, mustard, some Pak Choi, Kometsuna, Mitsuna as well. So because I've already got that, I probably won't grow that one. And then here's another spicy one. very similar again. So I'm thinking I'm going to go to Chard Plants, and they have some great mixes. So this one is called Shabby Chic. I love their packets. They have, look at this. So there's a chicken on that packet. And then this one is called A Taste of America. And look, I love their packets. They're so good. And their packets, you can open. I'll show you. This has been open and closed and open and closed. And look, no ripping. Unlike other varieties where the packets just rip open. I love their stuff. All right, so anyhow, Shabby Chic. So Shabby Chic is, again, an oriental mix. What do we got in here? We have Mitsuna, we have red and green mustard, we've got some rocket, we have some soft leaf lettuce, some salad bowl lettuce, and also wild rocket. So there's a cultivar in the wild. And you cannot go wrong with these mixes from them. I love them. This one here, the Taste of America, again is for cool weather. In here we have chicory, escarole, chervil. We've got some kale. I think I'll do that one. That's a really good one to do. So they are the leaves. And yeah, last year I had them in pots all over the place. Because we've got a little balcony that comes off our kitchen, and it was full of these things. So you just go out, snip it, and there's your salad. I'll go out and I'll show you my lettuce. I thought I'd put in some more seeds for lettuce leaves. So this is the fiery mix here that I was talking about inside. It's starting to come up. Now this has been in my cold greenhouse the whole time. I've not had this inside at all. So everything is starting to germinate and it's doing very, very well. Here are my lettuce. So I've got 2 lots that I have potted up. This one here is Jack Ice. This one here is the Randa Glass. And here is the Winter Marvel, I think. Yes, that's Winter Marvel. And again, I started these inside, and then as they were coming up, see these littlies here? All these little ones have come up since they've been in the greenhouse. So that is how tough leaves are, especially these winter varieties. They really love it. As soon as it gets too hot, they start bolting. Let's go and look in the veggie pod. So in the veggie pod at the moment, it's 7.5 degrees. This is this variety. Now this variety is from Dobby's. Oh, I wonder where those seeds have got to. This is a winter mix. Yeah, that's a winter mix. And look, we've already had one cutting from it. And you can see the whole row is coming beautifully. There was a lot of Mitsuna in there. There's a lot of rocket. There's a lot of red Mitsuna as well. And there was a little bit of Pak Choi in there. You can see. Oh, by the way, they're my beetroot that I was telling you about. They're not looking too bad now. Anyhow, let's go along here. And I just want to show you this cress. This is called Crumpled Cress, and this is from Real Seeds, and I love the look of that. We haven't actually had any of that yet. That's coming beautifully as well. And here's some mustard. This is Osaka. This is the Osaka purple mustard. That's really coming along, and look at the colouring that it's starting to get. Again, more leaves that you can cut and come. Beautiful, really beautiful. Go along. While we're here, we may as well talk a little bit. There's my chard. So this chard is getting big now, and this is the pink passion chard. This is going to go, I'm going to take this out and put it in the garden or over in the allotment. And what is also getting big is this perpetual spinach. That's all going to come out as well, and that's going to go onto the allotment. Further along, this is called Red Kitten. This is a spinach. Again, this can all go in now. Do them inside first, or in, actually you could probably do it in the veggie pod. And here's some more spinach coming. I've got some more spinach inside. And this is called Gigante d'Inverno. Look how big that leaf is. So again, all of this can be sown now. Just give you a look at my veggie pot. Here we are. All right. Still going? You still with me? Right, we're up to onions. Because I haven't had an allotment up to now, I haven't grown onions. I don't bother. But I think I'll put them in the autumn to overwinter actually, or I might do them for seed, because you can get a lot more varieties with seed. And some people actually say that seed onions work better than onion sets. So I'll give that a go. But there are two types of onions there's two or three that I grow every year, and they are the Italian Chipola onions. Actually, these might be Spanish, originally from Spain. Maybe Italian as well. So they're the Chipola onions, and I love these onions because they call them Spanish onions because you eat them raw. They're so lovely. I mean, brown onions you can eat raw as well, but these are really, really good. And here is my first lot of Chipolas. Very good rate. I didn't have them on heat at all. They've just been upstairs, and now I've got them downstairs, and I'm just kind of hardening them off, waiting to go out. So now I'm ready to sow my next lot this month as well. The other ones that I always grow are spring onions. There's one particular variety that I grow, which is called Ishikura, Japanese variety. It's always works really, really well. It's quite fast in maturity as well. It is very popular in Japan for soup and sukiyaki and things like that. They have a tendency, they don't get stringy like other spring onions do. They stay nice and tender. The other one that I grew last year, which I'm growing this year as well, is called red beard bunching onion. And it works a little bit like a spring onion, but it's red. It comes from China. And it has this kind of red base, then it goes white, and then it goes green. And that's a really, really good spring onion as well. So outside, I have 2 troughs with overwintered spring onions. They're a bit meh, but they're all right. I'm still using them. So I'm due now to sow spring onions. I sow spring onions in troughs. I don't sow them in the garden at all. I'm thinking about that. I'm always thinking about what can I grow on the allotment. Oh, maybe not. I'll have a think about that. So that is onions. Another thing that's really good to grow now, another leaf, is Pak Choi. Like you saw, a lot of these mixes have Pak Choi in it. I've got a Pak Choi upstairs growing in my Jiffy pellets, and it's called Purple Lady, and that is already up. That's only taken a few days and it's up. I love Pak Choi. I love Tatsoi as well. That's another leaf that you can sow now. And then we get on to parsnips. Now, I've said before that I don't grow parsnips because I don't have the room, and parsnips have to be in the ground for the whole season. Now that I've got an allotment, I'm going to grow parsnips. And I'm going to start with something that will work, not something too crazy and a weird variety. So I am going to start with Tender and True. Thank you, Mr. Fothergirls. That's going in. Now, parsnips, I'm warming up the soil at my allotment at the moment. I have tarpaulin and all bits and pieces on the soil. Once that soil, in a couple of weeks, I am going to sow my parsnips, and they take quite a long time to germinate and come up, and then they have to be in the ground for a long period of time. Those things, celeriac, brassicas, all that stuff that has to be in the ground for a long time, that's all going over to the allotment. I'm just looking what else is next. Yes, radishes. I'll go and get the seeds. Right, I'm back with my radish seed. Now, radish. Flea beetle. That's a problem. So flea beetle are these tiny, tiny, tiny little black things that they love eating the leaves of radishes. But that's all that they eat. The main thing that eats the actual radish will be slugs. And like I said, they can also get carrot fly in the season as well. So what I'm going to do with my radish, I've taken them. They don't grow in my raised beds anymore. I'm definitely not doing them at the allotment. So I'm doing them in the veggie pod. That's where I'm doing them. And at the moment, I have 2 varieties in the veggie pod. They're not ready yet. The first one is called Red Top. And it's a breakfast radish, but it's not the long one. It's the round. It's works the same. So the bottom is red, the top is white, and but it's round. That's in there, and that's up well and truly. The next one that's come up is one called Sicily Giant Radish, and they're big. They're nearly as big as a golf ball, and they're really, really nice. I had those in troughs last year, and they did really, really well. So that's coming up. And then another one that I want to do is this one called Red Flesh, and it's also called Watermelon Flesh as well. Now this is a Chinese variety. You can grow it in the autumn as well, but I'm going to grow it now. And it's really interesting looking. The outside is green, and when you slice into it, it's a watermelon color. I'll put a picture of it up so you can see. And that's my radish selection. I also, I love the look of colourful radishes on a plate. So I do a lot of mixes as well. Let me show you what I've got. I collect them. I've got this one from Sutton's. That's that mix. So it's got a long one, a yellow one, and 2 types of red ones. I have a mystery radish mix that I got from Real Seeds. I grew that last year. That was really good. And again, from Chard, a radiant rainbow of radishes. I grew this last year as well. And that was very, very nice. I mean, I do like the ones that are kind of lavender coloured. They're beautiful. Some don't taste as nice as others. That's why I always have the ones that taste really nice. Like this is a good tasting one too. Sparkler, that's a nice one. Yeah, but they do look really nice, like in a salad. Don't you think? Right, I forgot to mention rocket. Rocket is something, it's a cold weather leaf. It will bolt if you put it in direct sunlight in the summer. So I've got a bed, a raised bed that I use nearly every year just for rocket. So I like to grow, there's 3 varieties I like to grow. I like to grow the cultivated variety, and I don't think I've got a picture of that. Hang on. It is different to the wild. There. If you look at that leaf, see how it's rounded, the leaf? Well, that is cultivated rocket, and wild rocket is that spiky thing. In my opinion, they taste very, very different. I kind of prefer wild rocket because it's it's peppery, much more peppery. And the other one that I am growing, which is, no, it hasn't fallen on the floor. Where is it? Aha! This is a new one. I haven't grown this one yet. Wasabi rocket from Chiltern Seeds. So you can get it quite a lot now. And the sounds amazing. Pepper, hotness. So I will let you know how that goes. So what have I got? I have in the garden, in the raised bed, I have got a row of cultivated rocket that I've got under a cloche, and that has been in there for most of the winter, and it's doing really, really well. I've just planted up a plastic crate of wild rocket, And then once the wild rocket comes up, I'll put the wasabi rocket in, probably in the what do you call it, veggie pod. Yeah, so that's that. Then spinach. So spinach, greens for us, it's very difficult to keep up with greens in this household because we eat so many greens. And when I mean greens, I mean anything with a green leaf. We're like rabbits, especially spinach. Now spinach, I think it comes in two forms. It either comes in the salady type of spinach, like the ones that you saw in my veggie pod, the red kitten, and I'll show you another phone. Oh, mine looks better than that. Doesn't my red kitten look better than that? I grew this red kitten last year at the end of winter into spring. It was delicious. I remember making a salad and I fried bacon and I used the bacon fat as the dressing on this salad. It was absolutely fantastic, and that's why I've got a few seeds left. I'll get some more. Why not? The other spinach in the veggie pod was the Gigante d'Inverno. That's been quite good. That's been new for me this year, and that's been quite good. So I'm quite happy with that. The other one that I've got upstairs that needs to be repotted is a spinach called Amazon F1. I'm not a big F1 person, anything like that. But it says that, again, very good for the cool weather. Most spinach is. This one I've just planted in Jiffy pellets and it's just starting to come up, and it's called Medania. This is a Chiltern seed spinach as well. And then, of course, you saw in my veggie pod perpetual spinach. It's, again, now that works differently because that's a real cut and come. The other spinaches, I always take the outside leaves and I work inwards like I would with a lettuce. I'll show you when they start to get growing. I'll show you how I harvest these things. But with the perpetual spinach, you just chop it off and then it all comes back again. So that's the spinach, and that is the rocket. We're nearly finished. I've got a few more things to show you. Okay, I've just got these seeds here in front of me. Turnips is another thing that can be grown. Now, I've got this thing I love turnips. Oh, and Swede is another thing that you can grow. I forgot about that, but now I've got an allotment. Swede, or if you're American, rutabaga. Yay, yay, yay. But turnip, I love turnips. Really like them. I was brought up on them, that's why I like them. So what have I done and what have I not had before? I've just planted some, or have I not planted them yet? I haven't planted them yet, no. But I must get them in, definitely this month. The one that's really, really good and really popular is the purple top Milan turnip. I'll put a picture. That's a really nice one. And then you've got I've also got a white Milan as well. These two I grew last year and they were really nice. This is really nice, this one. This is called Snowball, and it's only tiny little thing, and they were really nice. They're like really big radishes. And this one here was delicious. It's called Petrovsky. Another one. I'm going to do them in my Jiffy pellets as well, so I will show them show you next month when they come up. Turnips. One last thing that I cannot forget, and I will show you in a minute the ones that I've got. Hang on, looks as though my battery's nearly going. The ones that I've got already on the go. Today, this arrived. And in there are, hang on, those things. Potatoes. Potatoes. Okay, potatoes. First early, second early, main crop. First early are going in by the end of the month with me. So my first earlies that I have are Oh God, I can't remember now. Accent. Accent is the first one. And, no. Hang on. No. Oh dear, this is a bit embarrassing. The next one that's a first early is Aaron Pilot. That's my two first earlies. So they're off to get chittered, and I will show you what I've got chitting already. These are my second earlies. I got these before I got that box. That other box is from Pennard. Again, Pennard Plants. I love their potatoes. But I must say, Mr. Fothergills does a good potato too, because this here is Nicola, chitting beautifully, and that's Charlotte. And the potatoes were great quality. So there you have it. Okay, so that is what I'm going to sow in March without the aid of heat. My next video will be what I've already sown with the aid of heat and what comes next, which is always quite exciting. So I hope you have a really good month of sowing. Get going, because before you know it, this month will be gone, and it's always a little bit mad, March, but have fun. See ya.